Hello, my name is Ilona. I'm from Ware Kracht, which means true power in Dutch. And I'd like to help people find their true power in themselves. Everyone has their own true power. So you're not reliant on things around you or outside of yourself. I'd like to continue the major arcana cards, and I have now number 3, 4, and 5. The 3 is the Empress. And as you can see, she's sitting on her throne, on her pillow throne. So she's very comfortable. She's very relaxed. You see all kinds of grain growing, and everything around her is very relaxed, growing. It's a very positive card. So if you receive this card in your card reading, it means that you can be creative, you can be relaxed, but you can just not force anything. Go your own way, take your time, but listen to your creativity, and things will grow and blossom if you are more relaxed and more able to just receive things as well. It's a way, in a way it is a card to take action, but a very relaxed way, really listening to yourself, your inner voice, and then act on it. So there's not really a push to it. It's more of a relaxed way of doing things. So in a card reading, it's a positive card. So if I feel in a positive way, then it's going to be a period for this person. It's going to be creative, it's going to be blossoming, relaxing. If I feel a little bit negative, more of a feeling like, when I see this card, it means that it's important for this person to listen to their creativity and to relax more. So they're too stressed out most of the time, and it's important to listen to themselves and listen to their inner voice in a way and act on it. So it is time to do things, but more in a creative way and more in a way that feels good to you. That's very important. If I lay cards in a relationship card reading, it means that the other person is a very relaxed person, very creative, but also very tolerant, very open, doesn't judge very easily. So it's probably a very safe energy. Person probably has a very safe energy, so feels very comfortable to be with this person. It's almost like you get more creative yourself by just being in this person energy. So it's a very good card in another, if it's for someone else in a relationship card reading. If I feel a bit more negative, which I usually don't have, it could mean that the other person should relax more, but then I have to look at the other cards in the card reading as well. So then it could be a hint that this person is not in touch with his or her. Well, if this person is not in touch with the female side in him or her, because it can, this card can be there for the if it's female or male, doesn't matter. So it's very important to feel when you look at the card reading and look at the other cards as well. So it can have a more negative side to it, but usually this is a positive card and a very nice energy to flow with. So I'll continue with the Emperor. That is a different kind of energy. In a way, they go together. So if you do have this in a card reading or a relationship reading, it could easily mean like a marriage or a relationship, because they fit so well together. And of course, it doesn't have to be male female; it can be male male, female female. It depends on the card reading. But in the card reading itself, it usually in a relationship reading means that the people that you put a reading out for are connected in a way. The Emperor, well, as you can see, the throne is well, I think it's like rock. It's very stern. He's wearing a harness. He's ready to fight. He's ready to stand his ground, and that's what this energy is. It's more of a male energy outside, and the Empress in that way is more of a feminine energy. It's more of a feminine touch to it. This is the male energy. This is standing your ground. Making decisions. making decisions more in a rational way, forcing things maybe in a way, or just going your way. There's more of a push to this energy. It's more of an active way of doing things. So it's not waiting and see, oh, what shall I do? No, it's like, okay, what needs to be done, and just doing it. So this is a very straightforward energy. In a card reading, if I feel in a positive, if it feels positively for me, just means that this person is ready to take action, is ready to roll up the sleeves and get to work. It's very important that that person, starts doing the things that needs to be done. If it's more in a negative way, it means that this person or is very dominant, so is too pushy, it's forcing things and needs more time, or in the other side of it is doesn't doesn't push anything, and it really is a bit yeah, like needs to put more strength to it, is afraid to say things, is afraid to make decisions. So you have two sides to it in a negative way. One is the too dominant, and one is not dominant at all, is very passive and um, well, it's just not doing the things they're supposed to do. So they're a little bit thinking of the word subservient, I think is the right word. So my apologies if sometimes my word don't come out right. I am Dutch. This is my second language. So um, English, that is. So the emperor is more of a strict personality, but in a way, in a positive way, can be very good. You're just making your way through. In a negative way, now, like I said, can be very dominant, or you're just very well. You're more of a victim personality, and it's important for you to start using that power in you. We all have feminine energies and male energies, and sometimes we need to use the male energies as well if we're too weak in a way, or if we too feel too weak. We have that strength in us. I think the balance between the female and the male energies is the true power, the ware kracht we all have in ourselves. So if this is if I have a relationship card reading, and this is for the other person, it could mean that this is a very strong person, just a very strong, opinionated person, someone who takes action, someone who could be a male or female, doesn't really matter, but they're not afraid to say what they want, to express their opinions. And so if it feels positive, it means that this person is very in touch with their male energies and really, very direct. But if I feel a little bit negative and the card is for another person, it could mean that they're either very dominant and very pushy, and they don't really listen to you. They just want to hear themselves talk, or they are very well, like I said, very victim like. They are not in touch with their male energy, and it's very important that they do. But that's of course up to the other person. So in a card reading, it all depends on how a card feels. If it feels a bit, open, positive, or like a bit negative, as I would call it. That's how usually when I feel a card, I feel in my stomach kind of like goes like, then it means it's more of a negative. So that's how I read the cards. So this is the Emperor, and the last card for this video is the High Priest. It's number 5. As you can see, he sits on a throne. It's also a very stiff throne in a way. And you have two monks who are in a way worshipping him. So the card has several meanings, and I usually feel intuitive which way I should go with this. And it also depends on the question someone asks. But in a card reading, usually in a positive way, this means that it's important for the person to see what are their values, and do they listen to their own values? Are they looking outside for their values? It's in the way, are they looking outside for confirmation of things, or are they finding the strength in themselves? It's also we have Dutch writer. She wrote books about tarot. She's also a tarot card reader, Renee Maas, and she has this. She sees this card as an challenge that will come your way. It will be very important to take that challenge. And sometimes when I'm reading the cards, that's how I feel like, oh, this is meant as a challenge for a person. But it's usually a traditional card. It's also looking for a spiritual way, but more on a traditional way, so more in religious, it's religious imagery that you see here. So, person may be looking for a spiritual connection, could be through religion, could be that they're more open now, and it's important to look at other ways than what they were grown up in. Maybe they were brought up in a very Christian home, and they can look outside of that. Or it's a card of your what are your values? How do you view life? So in a card reading, if it's a positive way, then this person is could be ready for a challenge, could be ready to examine their values and really live by that values and start living their own as their own spiritual how do you say that they look for themselves and not outside of themselves. In a more negative way, this card could mean that they are looking too much outside of themselves and that they are not connected with their values, that people do not respect their values, and that they remain in that relationship, or that they remain in a position or a situation they shouldn't be in. So it's very important to look at their own values. And of course, in a challenge, well, it could be that they don't want that challenge, and that there is resistance. So, like I said, you can. It depends on how you feel with this card. In a relationship, card reading, then when you between two people, you're reading cards for two people. The other person could be very traditional. So, a very traditional person in how they view relationships or how they act, or so that could be in a positive way, because maybe I'm reading cards for the person that's also very traditional and prefers a traditional way of looking at relationships. In a negative way, that could also be a problem. So this person is not very open-minded and likes to have strict rules in how they perceive things and how their values are. So completely depends on what you feel when you read the cards. So how you can interpret the card. So this is the last card for this video. And of course, I will continue the major arcana cards with the 6, 7, and the 8th number the next time. So hope to see you in the next video. Bye.